Hello, my name is Gloria Robert. Today, we shall be discussing an interesting topic, evolution. Evolution. Objectives of lesson. As the lesson progresses, the learners should be able to 1. Define evolution. 2. Define speciation. 3. Mention the types of evolution. 4. Mention examples of types of evolution. What is evolution? Evolution can be defined as the sum total of adaptive changes that take place in the old forms of organisms, resulting in diversity of forms, structures, and functions over a long period of time. Using this image explains evolution. This is the old form. The old form of organism is bent. It has lots of hairs all over its body and probably a hand structure that cannot hold stick properly. But over a period of time, it begins to change in its forms, structures, and functions, leading to the formation of a new form. This new form is called a new species. So we can say that evolution also leads to, formation of new species. The new form is far better than the old one. Why? Because it can stand erect, it has lighter hairs on its body, and a hand structure that can hold stick properly. Evolution involves a gradual process taking place over a period of time, leading to the development of new species. Evolution is of the opinion that every existing species of organism are actually formed from pre-existing ones or ancestors. Just like in one of the cell theories that states that every new cell is formed from pre-existing ones. So, every new species is actually formed from pre-existing species. So, what exactly is speciation? Speciation can be defined as the process by which new species are formed over a period of time from pre-existing ones. Every new species that is actually formed can evolve into new species. Therefore, we can say that the process of speciation is a continuous one. Let's look at the causes of speciation. The first process responsible for speciation is isolation. Natural barriers like mountains, deserts, oceans, among others, can separate organisms over a long period of time. This can cause certain genetic changes, which can as well lead to new species being formed. For example, a species of organism can be separated by ocean, or some can live across the mountain. Now, it is possible that this new species that will be formed from this species that is in existence could be as a result of being separated by the mountain or ocean. The second cause of speciation is mutation. Mutation is defined as spontaneous or sudden change in the genetic makeup, component, or DNA of an organism, which can lead to the development of new traits or look. So, this process of mutation can be passed from generation to generation. When there is a sudden change in the DNA sequence of an organism, for example, if the DNA component of an organism is ABCD, and then all of a sudden, maybe because the organism is exposed to certain chemical and it changes to ABCT, therefore the organism is not going to be the same again. So it means that it has led to a genetic change, which can then be passed from one generation to another. Let's look at the types of evolution. We are going to be discussing 3 types of evolution here. The first one is called divergent evolution. Divergent evolution can also be known as adaptive radiation. This type of evolution occurs when closely related species evolve or diversify from same ancestral origin. They can have common structural similarities, but also have different diversified structures from their common ancestor that enable them carry a specific function. So this common ancestral leading to the formation of different structures is what we call evolution, and the different structures are actually known as homologous structures. Using this for better understanding, for example, we can have two or more species from the same parental origin, but they have evolved over the time to have different structures due to the function or the environment they find themselves. So these different structures help them to actually survive in their environment, and those structures are called homologous structures. Let's look at examples. For example, we have the human and apes. They come from the same common ancestral primate ancestral, or should I say ancestors origin. Okay, well, over the time they have evolved different structure based on their needs. Another example is the four limbs of mammals, like that of a whale, dogs, bat, and human. Now these organisms share a common ancestor, but they have differently developed or evolved structures. However, they might have similar anatomical structures as well, but these differently acquired structure actually help them to adapt to the requirement in the environment. Now let's study this image here. You see the image of a man, cheetah, whale, and that of a bat. Now they have actually evolved similar structure. Okay, they look similar actually, but out of that similarity you still see some differences. Now the different structure are those structure we call homologous structures. They have evolved this structure differently because they actually live in different environments and survive in different ways. So this structure help them to actually adapt in the environment. If you see the forelimb of man, it helps him to grab things. That of cheetah helps it to walk. That of a whale helps it to swim, and that of a bat helps it to fly. So they look similar, but if you actually look at them, you find out that they've evolved differently in order to help them survive in their environment. Now another one is that of the finch birds. Now the finch birds, which evolved from same ancestors, they have different beak shape based on their food. Now the ancestor is the one at the center. If you look at the image here, over the time this species of bird has evolved into different species with different beak shape. The function of the beak is based on the food type that they feed on. So you see some beak like that of the finch bird that feed on leaves is quite different from the one feeding on fruit, and that on insect, or that on crops. They are all species of finch bird, but they've evolved different structure known as homologous structures that help them to adapt to the kind of food they feed on. So let's talk about the conclusion of the matter. In summary, we can say that the process of divergent evolution is same origin, different traits. Organisms from the same origin having different traits that help them to survive in their environment. So let's talk about the second type of evolution, and that is convergent evolution. Now convergent evolution is that in which organisms that are not closely related or that are from different ancestral origin independently evolve similar structures. You observed it? Good. It is the opposite of divergent evolution. These similar features shared by the different species of organisms may be in form of similar body forms, colors, organs, and may have similar functions known as analogous structures or homoplasis. Convergence occurs when organisms are required to adapt to similar environmental conditions, selection pressure, or occupy similar niche. Using this image again, that means we have different parent origin or ancestors, and then the species evolved from these different parent origin. They have similar structures. Now this similar structure is as a result of living in the same environmental condition, selection pressure, or due to similar niche, and they can also be used for similar purpose. Let's look at more examples on this. We have the first one here, whale. Whale belong to the class mammal, okay, and the shark belong to the class fish or Pisces. Now they have similar characteristics like that of the fins, streamlined bodies, flippers, which have actually evolved to enable them move through the same aquatic habitat. So they live in the same environment, and so they needed similar structures to help them carry out the same function. But don't forget, they are from different parental, or should I say ancestral origin. So if you study the shark, the penguin, and other animals here, you find out that they have similar structures, though they are from different ancestral origin. Now these similar structures to help them to be able to survive in the same aquatic habitat. Another example is the possession of thick water retaining leaves and spines of two different plant species, that is the cati and the phobia plants. Now these plants are from different ancestral origin and also from separate continents, but they have the same kind of structure in similarity though, that enable them to tolerate conditions of extreme drought in the desert, meaning that it helps them to conserve water in an environment where there is no water. Good. Now the last example we want to look at is that of the bird, bat, and the insect. So you can see that the bat, the bird, and the insect, they have similar structure, though they are from different ancestral origin. Now this similar structure is the wing. The function of the wing is to help them to fly in the environment they find themselves. And then we can conclude by saying in summary that convergent evolution simply means different origin, same trait, meaning that these are organisms from different ancestral origin but having same traits that enable them to survive in their environment. And lastly, we are going to be talking about the last one, which is parallel evolution. Parallel evolution. Now, parallel evolution is a process in which two distinct species of common ancestral origin and in the same environment independently develop similar traits. This seems to be like the normal thing that one would consider, organisms of the same species developing or evolving similar traits. Now this is because genetically related species adapt to similar environmental changes or pressure in the same way does similar trait. Okay, let's look at this image. We have organisms of same ancestral origin having the same traits. It's as simple as that. So we want to look at examples of parallel evolution. Okay, number one, and the image here is representing the number one. We have the woolly mammoth, actually is in extinction right now, and we also have the modern elephant, which share the same ancestral origin. So they also have the same structures, or they've evolved the same similar structures. So if you look at them, they look alike because they're actually from same origin. Now the next question we want to look at is the evolution of the marsupial in Australia and that of the placental mammals like the wolves, the cats, the mice, the squirrels. Now all of these are organisms of the same species, so they have similar trait like that of the placenta. They both have placenta or other structures. Now these structures actually help them to survive in their environment. So in conclusion or in summary, we can say that parallel evolution simply means organisms from the same origin, they have the same kind of structures or traits that enable them to survive in their environment. Good. So at this point, I would say we've come to the end of the class. So we have 5 questions on this aspect of evolution. So it's time for you to pick your paper and your pen and start digging out the question. So the thing is that you have to get it all. So our goal here is that you get all the questions 100%, 10 over 10. Now in case you are not able to answer any of them, please don't panic. All you need to do is go back to watch the video again, listen to it again, and I believe at the end you should be able to answer all the questions. But please, if you are a new viewer on this channel, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, click the notification bell, like the video, drop your comment. I'll really be glad to answer and contribute to any comment that you drop on my channel. So the essence is for you as a student to be better in biology, and then as a teacher or an instructor using this is for you to have an instructional aid that can make your work easier. Okay, I want to believe you are going to achieve that success together. So start marking yourself because it's time for the answers to the student activity. Are you through marking? Did you get it all? That is very good. So at this moment, I'll say thank you for joining me on this video. Have a wonderful time.